Hello, I'm Paul Hafner, and today we're going to take you through the steps of removing a liquid system off of this Rogator. Behind me here we got a 2012 Rogator with a 1,100-gallon liquid system on it. We're going to take you through the steps of removing the electrical system, hydraulics, liquid plumbing, air system, and the hard mounts that mount this system to the chassis. When we're all done, we're going to be able to lift this system up and drive this Rogator away so a dry box can be installed. Now, before we start doing any work on the liquid system, we want to make sure that we secure the booms. Now, first thing we're going to get started with is the electrical system. On the right-hand frame rail, we have the 3 plugs that come from the system electrical box. These need to be removed to be able to remove the system. So with these removed, we're going to secure these up to the side here, just using a cable tie, so they don't get in the way when we move our system. And now to complete the electrical disconnect, there's one more plug we need to get on the left-hand side frame rail. On the left-hand side frame rail is for work light number 3, which is the system attached work lights. It can be found in the left-hand frame rail right behind the liquid system pump. Just unplug, and you can leave that harness hang. Now this Rogator is equipped with the optional front reload. So first we're going to disconnect the front reload line from the suction side of the product pump. Front reload is going to stay on the machine. We'll secure it up to the side here so it's out of the way. Now after we've secured the front reload line to the side, we're going to install a dust cover to keep field debris from getting inside our front reload hose while it's out running. Now our next step is to remove the suction line from the sump. Now with this removed, we'll be able to take this entire Y assembly down. Before we can remove the Y assembly, I first need to disconnect the front reload valve electrical plug-in. Now I'm going to remove these 4 bolts, and we'll be able to take the Y assembly from the back side of the pump. First, we're going to remove the 4 bolts that attach the Y to the pump. Now, with the Y manifold removed, we'll be able to lift the system off without having to worry about any of the plumbing underneath the machine. Okay. Next, we're going to install the hydraulic cover plate. This is going to go right where we took the hydraulic system pump off. This is going to allow us to drive the Rogator without the hydraulics hooked up. we're going to remove the pressure line hose off of the system pump, and then this hose is going to go with the system when we remove it from the chassis. Now we can set the pump aside. Here we have the cap on the hydraulic tank and the plug in the pressure hose going to the BWM block. Next, we're going to take off the return hose from the PWM block to the hydraulic manifold. And once this hose is removed, we will cap and plug it. This hose will stay loose as it'll go off with the system. Our next step in removing the hydraulics is to remove the pressure and return line from the boom motion block. And these hoses will plug and cap. Next, we're going to tie the hoses up so they're out of the way when we lift the system. Our next step is to take the air out of the air system so we can disconnect the air lines going to the optional foam marker and the optional boom cleanout. Our first step in this is to lower the suspension. We're going to do that with the air dump valve located at the left rear corner. Now once all the air is out of the airbags, it's then safe to go back and remove the rest of the air out of the air reservoir. We're going to take off the air lines off the top of the air reservoir that are going to the foam marker and the boom cleanout. Now we'll disconnect the air lines by pressing the air line in, holding the fitting, and pulling it out. Now the air system is disconnected from the chassis. Now that we have the electrical, hydraulic, and air system all disconnected between the system and the chassis, it's starting to work on the mounts. First thing we're going to do is remove these cross members off the back of the system so we can lift it up without any interference from the frame rails. On the 120-foot booms, we have one single cross member that spans the back of the liquid system rack. Now with the rear cross members taken off, we can go and start disconnecting the system tie-down mounts. Now we're ready to loosen up and remove the system tie-downs. We'll start with the tie-downs for the rear boom tree. Next, we'll loosen up and remove the tie-downs at the back of the system. Now with the rear system tie-down loosened, we can go ahead and loosen up the front system tie-downs. Now we're going to loosen up the front system tie-downs. Now this Rogator liquid system is equipped with the optional poly chemical eductor. Now to properly lift the system, we're going to remove the bottom bolts that mount the eductor to the system so we can pivot it out as we're lifting the system up. With the bottom bolts removed, we'll loosen the top so we can pivot the system a little easier. Now this will allow us, as we're picking up the system, to move it away from the frame rails. Now we're ready to put the boom support on. When you get the combo parts kit with your liquid system, you will get this support piece that's going to hold our booms together when we lift the system. It's fully adjustable for different size boom widths, either from 80 all the way up to 120. This is going to go across the front tank strap, and it's going to be secured through this bolt right here. This allows these chains to grab onto the booms and to hold them in place. And it also gives us two lifting points for lifting the front side of the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach the lift hooks onto the rear frame.
Try to lean back a little bit so I feel uncomfortable. How do you lift hooks special for this?
These are specific for the 120-foot booms.
Start over and say that again.
These lift hooks are specific for the 120-foot booms.